to mess up.
And he's been mine ever since. Except now I'm gonna lose him.
Oh, I don't believe this.
No. Now, see here. You go out first like that, and I'll have to clear the courtroom. Understand? And in conclusion, I would like to point out to this intelligent jury that
The live stream was a bust. It didn't work because YouTube wouldn't open the camera. So the people that were waiting, YouTube messed up my live stream. Thank you very much.
the jury, having heard the evidence, will now scientifically deduce its verdict.
Do you think we have a chance, Stephen?
Well, put it this way. You can start calling Astro by his new name, Trowfans. Has the jury back?
And again, there's no bell up top. There's no notifications, nothing.
Your job hangs in the balance.
The jury awards the dog to Mr. Gutrocket.
Hooray! We did it! Hooray! We did it! Yippee! Good work, Wizard. Your job is safe for another month. Oh, you're all heart, sir. Thank you, sir. I'm sorry, old pal. I did my best. Of course, the defendants will be permitted reasonable visiting hours. Case closed. Come on, Trowfans. We're going home.
This is ridiculous.
I've got your room all fixed up for you. So long, Astro.
Goodbye, Astro. It won't be so bad. You'll be a rich dog from now on. Yeah. And we'll visit you every chance we get, Astro.
You can forget that Astro stuff. From now on, your name is Trowfans.
Man, I hate this.
And so Astro, that is Trowfans, was doomed to a life of dull, depressing wealth and luxury at the home of the fabulously wealthy Mr. J.P. Gutrocket. He had everything a dog could want. A private doghouse with all necessary or incidental accessories. And outside, he had his own private circular dog walk. The finest foods were readily available at Paws. What? But poor Astro was not happy. He felt lost in a lonely new world. And he missed his beloved Jetson. Only two things made Astro happy. One was his daily romp with Gutrockets. Down, boy, down, easy, down. Oh, that 6 pairs of pants you've ruined this week. The other thing that made him happy.
Why does it do that? If there's 2 notifications, why does it disappear? What the hell is with this crap?
Then one day, old Trowfans, it's visiting hour again.
Open the damn thing. Shit.
It's us, Astro. Here, boy.
Yippee! All right, Astro. I'm glad to see you too.
This was a total bust. Everything got screwed up.
Just look at them with us. I think we've been wrong. Taking that sweet dog from those nice people. But we hurt our corporate image if we gave him back. It would make everybody happy, sir.
Ugh.
It could make things a lot easier on my personal life.
Oh, I agree, sir. And I'll arrange the payment right away.
Well, so long, pal. We'll be back next week.
Oh, Mr. Jackson, one moment, please. Mr. Gutrocket has decided to present Trowfans Astro to you as a gift. Huh? I have to pay is now legally yours. Why, it's true. Astro belongs to us. Come on, boy, you're going home. Rippy! Run, boy, roll. Rippy! Rippy! I mean, yippee! Give Mr. God Rockets our thanks with his goodbye.
For he's a jolly good fellow. For he's a jolly good fellow. For he's a jolly good fellow. Which nobody can deny.
Whisperati, run, we run.
Help! Jay, stop this crazy thing! Meet George Jetson. His boy Elroy. Daughter Judy. Jane, his wife.
This is the home of Spacely Space Rocket, whose industrial leadership, together with Cogswell Cosmic Cog, is founded on the deepest concept, courtesy, scientists, and cooperation.
That loud mouth, Spacely? Pretty man.
Yes, sir.
Cogswell, you're a no-good crook.
Well, you aren't any space angel yourself, Spacely.
Compared to you, I'm a regular Boy Scout.
Leave it to YouTube to screw everything up,
Keeps me out of business by refusing
even after all this time, right?
you flip. If I never see another Cogswell Cog, it'll be too soon.
What a Spacely. You're too soon at cutting.
Ha! You missed.
Don't make me laugh, Spacely. Haven't you learned by now that Cogswell never returns? What's this?
There was
Don't tell me you're going to count that.
Stop looking over my shoulder, will you?
there was no notification bell displayed, so it wouldn't open the camera. So I had to actually reset everything, and when it did, the people that were in the first one disappeared. Then you popped in, and you went back to go and get them, but they never came back. There was nothing there. And then you disappeared,
That's right.
and you didn't come back, so I had to close it.
The
Minivac. All I ever got out of your gimmick was a good laugh. I'll believe it when I see it.
All right, wise guy. Be at my place in half an hour, and I'll prove it to you.
You could see and hear me. On Instagram, that's where I'm at right now.
It's going to be a sad scene.
Oh, just a minute, Spacely.
Yeah, what is it?
You forgot something.
Uh-oh.
And I don't see your name here. I mean, I see the camera still live. It says 9 minutes and 55 seconds, but I don't see anybody else in here. There's one person, one thumbs up. But your name's not in here, and neither is anybody else. It's like in order for me to get what you're saying, I have to go back to Instagram and see what it is you typed in the chat log.
Just think, Jetson, with this Minivac, we'll save a fortune in shipping charges. We reduce our products before we ship them and enlarge them after they arrive at their destination. Beautiful, isn't it? I think I have it working now, Mr. Spacely. You better have, or you have it. Hey, boys, let's test run the Minivac and see what happens. Good idea. I'll start her up. Now, let's see.
Yeah, I'm on the Instagram chat log right now. I see 2 notifications, but every time I try and click on them, there's a little outlined square in blue. And it won't display. Now there's 3. I am in a new window. Okay, hold on, let me see something. Okay, I'm here. Okay, I'm here, Pia. Can you see that? No, it don't work that way either.
You haven't gotten many laughs left. You sure you didn't get this out of a cereal box? For a minute, I'll show you how.
Yeah, I won't type that either. I put something in the chat and it won't type it now.
There's still a few bucks in it, and you better quit bugging me. But Mr. Spacely, if we don't fix it, we'll be in.
I just typed you something in the chat log on YouTube, and it wouldn't go through. It made it disappear.
Well, Cogswell, what do you think? Very funny. Very funny. The 6-inch crate might go with the kitties, but who needs a 6-inch high employee?
I'm talking to you on Instagram, not on YouTube. I'm using my microphone in the chat log with you.
I can't, Mr. Spacely. Like I try to tell you, the reverse-o-matic isn't working. I can't enlarge. And I wanted to put Cogswell out of business so bad. Keep trying, Spacely. Keep trying. Don't let a little thing like this stop you. Oh, you came through again, pal. Best laugh I've had in weeks. Your puny efforts to put me out of business are a regular riot.
Now I'm back on YouTube, or at least I'm on the camera anyway. Here we go again. One person in the yeah.
Let's see. Maybe it's the inversion resistor. Or it might be the spin back.
I'm not doing anything that's going to require spam anyway, so I don't understand this. Why won't it show the notification bell? The only thing it's showing is the little round picture of my car. That's it.
All I gotta do is replace it. Fine. Better rush right out and get a Cogswell car. Oh, something wrong, boy? Looks like we struck out again, Jetson. Cogswell has slapped a trade ban on us. He won't sell us a car. You mean I'm stuck here at 6 inches? Don't worry, Jetson. I'll think of something. I'll go home and sleep on it. You may have the rest of the day off. Oh, brother, I had a feeling I'd wind up on the short end. I sure hope this crate knows its way home. I ain't even big enough to see where I'm going. Oh, why do I let Mr. Spacely get me into these fixes?
What the hell?
Oh, a lawbreaker, eh? Well, nobody runs through my intersection. Oh, boy. I hope that's
trucking on a traffic cop. My luck, it is a traffic cop. Okay, Buck Roger. Pull over to the nearest cloud. Is he kidding? I can hardly reach the brake. What some guys won't do to get on television traffic court. Okay, let's see your driver's license. I'm sorry, officer. Did I do something wrong? What's the matter, officer? You look sick.
1 minute ago, Mortsky Repair is live. Friday night live from the shop.
When I start seeing little guys flying around, it's time to retire to that chicken ranch and I have up on that asteroid.
Here comes George, and I better start dinner. George is always famished after a hard day's work.
Well, at least I got home without being stepped on.
Yep, that's there.
Maybe I ought to sue Spacely for character shrinkage. Hi, Jane, honey. Now, don't panic before I can explain. You see, I was...
Hello, dear.
That's what I call a big kiss.
Anything interesting happen at the office today?
Nothing to stand up and scream about.
You look like an insect.
You have to bug me, too.
What happened?
Well, I got caught in Mr. Spacely's new minivac machine. It shrinks everything down to 6 inches.
Minivac?
Yeah, and the enlarger is on the fritz. It needs a new card.
Well, why don't you get a new one?
Because it needs a Cogswell card. And Mr. Cogswell won't sell us one. So I'm caught short till Spacely can figure out something.
Hang on, there's somebody outside.
This is awful. What will our friends say?
What will I say to our friends? That's the voice. It's me. It's me. Hello, Shorty. What do you mean, hello, Shorty? Look here, Astro. Don't get smart with me. I may be only 6 inches tall, but I'm still master around here. You get it? Yeah, I write it. I'm the boss. You're the rock. That's right. Now sit. All right. Youch! Astro, will you please get off my back?
Get up, Astro, and let the boss have his dinner. But say, what happens if Mr. Spacey can't get a new car? Yes, what do you do, George?
I don't know. Maybe I can get a job threading needles.
Gee, how can we look up to a 6-inch father?
I'll wear elevator shoes. Boy, am I famished.
Can I help you with some turkey, dear?
No, I'm big enough to feed myself. I'll start with this drumstick. Oops, the daisy!
Watch out, George. You'll fall off the table.
Yeah!
Are you all right?
All right, maybe I should start with the small.
Well, I see somebody in here, but I've seen this name on my videos,
Will you please pass the salt, please?
but they don't speak English.
I guess my appetite is the only
I think it's from Turkey.
Hey, what the? Things like this could drive me crazy, but I'd probably drown crying.
Maybe you should just have a glass of milk.
It's a good idea, Roy. That ought to be easy enough to do.
Easy, George. Easy.
That's your
Take it
picture.
now.
I ain't gonna face it. I'm just gonna starve.
Poor George. He's helpless as a
Someone like to comment after the video.
That's it.
All questions are
George, I have an idea.
important, not only for... Oh, Angry Cajun showed up.
Going hungry?
I didn't even see that.
Yeah, only I just hope none of the boys drop over that hole.
See, it's not even showing up in my live.
It's the tale of yours. Elroy, will you see who it is? Okay, Mom.
No, I'll answer it. Maybe Spacely fixed the minivan. Hiya, Mr. Spacely.
Captain, our problems are almost over.
You mean you found the car?
No,
Hey, Bayou, if you're here,
Now, wait a minute.
say hi.
Sneak in? Oh, but Mr. Spacely, how? The place is crawling with armed guards. Oh, it can't be done.
Don't confuse me with that, Jetson. Just get me a car. Good night.
Good night.
What's that?
I said, good night, sir. Well, I ain't gonna do it.
But you must, dear. If you
Yeah, one of the people that actually was in the live stream was Bayou,
They'll say, look
Angry Cajun.
Look at the shrimp.
Yeah. Look at the shrimp. Look at the shrimp.
Now, boy, go to bed.
Yes, Rich, Dad.
Look at him, Rick. Look at him, Rick.
You too. Anyone else?
You better get some sleep too, George. You're gonna be a busy little man tomorrow.
Yeah, honey, I guess you're right. I'll just have to get that Cogswell card, or I'll be a short guy and a long.
Was it my fault? Did I do something wrong? I don't know. It's my first time. So, only thing I know is when it came time for me to go live, the picture wouldn't disappear and it wouldn't open up to a camera, which is what I expected it to do. But it didn't. So I had to redo everything all over again. And still nobody showed up except for you. There were no comments, nothing.
How many times do I have to tell you no sleeping in our bedroom?
George, are you up yet? Your breakfast is getting cold.
Am I up yet? She said. At this time in the morning, I don't even know if I'm alive.
Unbelievable.
Well, I better hit the deck. Oh boy, some days it just doesn't pay to fall out of bed. I've heard it singing in the shower, but I never heard it singing in the sink.
How's your coffee, dear?
There must be.
This was a bust.
You better hurry or you'll be late for work.
Yeah, that's right. I gotta play Space Spy today. So long, dear. I'll see you later. I hope.
Bye, Dad.
So long, Judy, honey. Have a good day at school.
All right. Well, I'm here.
Be a good boy, Elroy.
So long, Dad.
Anybody have any questions?
From that dog.
Well, Bayou, I saw you pop in.
Morning, Mr. Cogswell.
Let's see if you could pop in over here.
The real tycoon.
Yeah, the Tycoonians.
I don't know how long ago that was, but
How does Spacely expect me to get past those two guards? I better check with them. Calling Spacely Sprockets. This is George Jetson calling Spacely Sprockets.
Morning, Jetson. Have you got that card yet?
Well, no, sir. Not exactly, sir. There's a couple of big guys.
hey, Steve, how you doing?
How am I going to pass them?
Just sneak by them. You're so small, they'll never
Thanks for joining the live stream.
that card and you'll
Hope you're still there. I've been having nothing but problems all night with this.
There are other small jobs for small characters. Goodbye and good luck.
Oh, boy. He doesn't have much trouble getting his point across. Well, here goes.
Did you notice a little guy about 6 inches sneak by?
Yeah, but I ain't saying nothing.
It's supposed to be a Q&A of, questions and answers, not on a technical term, but at least on a mechanically inclined term. Like a lot of people don't know that they can actually work on their own cars. The 57 Chevy that I have, that is literally the first time I've taken the engine completely down to the block. It's not far from it. I have to put the radiator back on. Right now I have snow on the ground, so I can't really do anything with it. I don't have a garage. So right now it's sitting underneath 2 tarps, protecting it against the snow. But there's still a lot of work. Even after I get the engine going, I still have to do interior work. I redo the seats and everything myself. I have a door panel in here from the driver's side that I actually used as a template to make new door panels. So I refabricate the door panels, the seats, and the headliner. I painted the car. I did metal fabrication, and I painted the dash and rebuilt the dash. They took everything out of the car except for the steering wheel. The horn ring was gone. The trim for the dash was gone. They cut holes into it, and I fixed all that. It has a horn ring now. The dash is painted. The steering wheel is painted. I managed to get the dash trim back, the radio, the original radio, a clock, the turn signal bar. When the guy brought the car up here, he busted one of the lights completely off. So I fixed that. I managed to get the turn signal bow tie, the lenses, wipers. What else did I get? Sun visors and OEM glass tail light backup lenses. But the heads are back on the car all the way up to the valve covers. I just got to do a valve adjustment, which really isn't all that difficult. People make it sound like you have to be a rocket scientist in order to do it. All it is you can get underneath the rocker arms, and you can turn the push rods back and forth with your fingers. Yes, it is a Power Glide. Yep. It's the original. I found out after I bought the car, it's actually a numbers match. And I know a lot of people are saying, no, there's no such thing as a 57 Chevy numbers match. Yes, there is. There's numbers on the generator, the carburetor, the intake manifold, the engine block, the heads, the transmission, the exhaust manifold, all that stuff. There's even an original tag on the carburetor. So everything on that car is from the factory back in 57.
I'll call him up right away and tell him to crawl over and sign the merger papers. Oh, he'll flip. Gee, I feel king-size. Hello there. Hi, someone here called for Viennese specialist repairman. No, don't be upset. I will have the machine working in no time. But the minute back is fixed. That's what they always say. Funny, you know.
What I had to do to it, Steve, was I had to put new pistons in it. 2 of them went bad. They broke in like 4 pieces, but they were held together by the rings. But the top of the actual piston separated from the bottom. So the apron of the piston was still connected to the connecting rod. And that's the reason why the cylinder walls didn't get scratched up, because nothing broke off right up against the cylinder wall to scar it. So both of them I was able to replace. Yeah, I did clean them out a little bit, but it wasn't like, wasn't like I was honing it out. I did like a crosshatch sand with like, was it 600 grit sandpaper or something like that. Lightly, just in case, And the compression stroke is there. Let's see. The exhaust manifolds are back on. The only thing I got to do really is put the generator back on, put the radiator back in, and get new studs for the carburetor. And that's it. Other than the fuel pump. That's the only other thing I got to put in.
I'm sorry, Mrs. Graceway. I hit the reducing button by mistake. Well, hit the enlarging button, you buttonhead. Yes, sir.
Pia, if you're here, say something.
You be quiet,
Do you have a vintage car, Steve, or no?
A week. Oh, great. What do we do to live? Anyone for cars? I'll enjoy beating you one way or another. Jetson, call our wives and tell them we got.
And if so, what car do you have?
While I clobber Cogswell and Peanut. Yes, sir. Right away, sir. All right, Spacely. I'll match you and raise your time.
Well, Steve, until the answer, I'll. Oh, okay. All right. So then you know that I did a time and chain on this car. You know I did pistons, not pistons.
I'm so glad my big dad.
Yeah, pistons.
It sure is.
And
Full-size dad again.
rings on the car. You know I worked on the cylinder walls. The way that I tested them was I actually put, when I got them in, I put the cylinders down, you know, the pistons down in the cylinder wall, and I poured Marvel's Mystery Oil in it. And I timed it to see how long it would take for them to drain out into the oil pan. That's how I know I have a seal. Because if it didn't, that Marvel's Mystery Oil would have ran right into the pan. Okay, mine's a 283 V8. Yep. But I had to do time and chain, gears, oil pan gasket, front main seal, head gaskets, both left and right. Intake manifold gaskets. I took the heads off because they had sludge in them. They had to be cleaned. I bought a clean sink. I bought a sandblast cabinet, which the cabinet's still not put together yet, but the clean sink is. See, I took the push rods out. I put them in the sink, cleaned them up. I cleaned the heads up, cleaned the valves up. I did my own resurfacing of the heads, you know, because you don't have to, you're not looking for a milling machine unless they're warped, you know. It's just, you know, things as you go along, you know. It's not like, I mean, unless you're stupid, you know. But I did everything myself. The heads are back on. The valve covers are back on. The only thing I got to do is a valve adjustment, and that's just a matter of turning the push rods and tightening down the rocker arms until they don't move anymore. And then if I start the car and I still hear clatter, which is, you know, the push rod and the rocker arm not tight enough, tighten it a half a turn to 3/4 of a turn, and that should fix it. I've seen on YouTube where these guys are sitting there, oh, there's a sequence to this, that, the other thing. No, there's not. Not as far as that goes. The heads, as far as that goes, I usually put the ones in the middle. I put them all in. But what I do is I'll what they consider to be hand tighten down the ones right in the middle of the head, you know, outside and inside. And then I'll work on the ones on either end, and then I'll tighten the other ones down. You understand what I'm saying? So that way it gets an even displacement. But there's really not much to it. I mean, other than that, you know, in order to make sure you got oil coming up from the pump, you know, you just got to make sure the distributor's set in there in the right slot. It has to be in this slot. Then I'm going to be doing interior work. You know, so even if I drive it to the car show, still looking like a mess or whatever, I really don't care. It's a 57 Chevy. And where are you normally going to find a numbers match? To be honest with you. Now, if you look in some of my earlier videos, you'll see that I'm actually driving the car back and forth in my driveway. The guy that I bought it off of said that it didn't run. And I managed to get it running. But not long after, I guess those two heads deteriorated. Not the heads, pistons deteriorated because I had been sitting for so long that they just managed to break apart. The metal had become brittle, and that was the end of it.
ready, old boy? Judy?
Ready? Have a good time. You too. And give our best to Grandma.
All right.
Bye. They're going in for a landing right in front of Grandma. Oh,
There's also original. Some tell me to upgrade, but it runs. No, you know what? The thing is with these guys, Steve, is that they're all into this L6 motor and all this other crap or whatever the hell they would call it. But they don't realize something. When you're taking your original engine out of that car and you sell it to somebody else or you scrap it or whatever the hell you do with it, okay, you're taking the value away from an original item. So if you leave it numbers match, okay, maybe the paint's not the same color. You know, I mean, the car's 64 years old. It's going to need a paint job. And, you know, if it's been sitting outside, yeah, it's going to have rust in it. But here's the funny thing. The car that I have has been in New Jersey all its life, okay? And the last inspection sticker on it was in 1976, okay? DMV titled it as having 613,000 miles. That's impossible. If that was in Jersey that long, with all the salt and everything else and the moisture in the air, there would be no frame rails left. There would be no front floors. There'd be no back floors. There'd be no trunk. There would be no spare tire compartment. It would all be rotted away. So my odometer says 61,344.9. That's 9/10 of a mile. Any idiot knows that, you know. But apparently somebody in DMV just didn't know how to see numbers, or maybe they're blind or something. You know, I mean, I know the car is, what, 12, 13 years before my time. But it's a car that, you know, all guys, when they're kids, they dream of having something like that, you know. And I was stupid enough to get one. Well, not stupid, but lucky enough to get one. Yeah, but that's what I'm saying. Keep it original. You don't need to swap it out for another motor just because, you know, those guys are usually just what they call trailer queens. They take a car. They don't do the work on it themselves. They have somebody else do the work for them. $75,000, $100,000 worth of repairs. They have a trailer queen. They put it in a trailer. They go to a car show. They back the trailer up to a spot. They roll the car out into the spot. They win their prizes. They start the car up just enough to get it back in the trailer, and they tow it home. No mileage on the car. They don't enjoy it. They can't say they worked on anything because they didn't. And these are the people that sit there and like to mock somebody like me. You know what I'm saying? Because I'm not afraid to get my hands dirty. So, but they are. Your best bet is just to keep it original. When I found out mine was an original trans, original engine, and the bend tabs on the exhaust manifold weren't messed with, that's when I knew that this was legit. You know, numbers match. I actually have pictures of it. The bend tabs have, or the exhaust manifold has a stamp number in it as well. And both numbers, you know, for each exhaust manifold match. So they're the same ones. Yeah, but you know what? That's not a big deal. You still have the original generator, right? As long as you have the original generator, put it off to the side, put an alternator on it. So what? Or what you do is, you know, when you have it at a car show, you have it nice and cleaned up. You put it in the trunk so that way people can see it. It's still there. You know what I mean? That gets points with people at car shows to see that you actually have the original stuff. There's nothing more, you know, original than that.
so that he was his own judge.
Oh, what happened?
What else? He gave him
Yeah, I hope to run my car probably in June when the car shows start. I should be able to, you know,
I'll have more money by then.
take it to car shows by then. I mean, after all this work that I've done.
Ah, you're right, dear.
Right, exactly.
Here, Las Vegas.
Yeah, see, that's the one thing I'm missing. They took the horn relay from underneath the steering ring, and well, I think the horn relay box is out underneath the hood, and they took the horns. I still haven't found those. I'm still looking for sill pans. That's the Body by Fisher pieces that go underneath the doors, and the runner board moldings that go outside below the doors. I'm going to show you the camera right now. Over here, if you look right up against the wall near that shirt, you can see there's two fins there. Those are for a two-door. They're both Bel Air. Okay? I got those from somebody, and they were telling me, oh, well, you should actually do the, four-door to two-door conversion. Now, if this was a Frankenstein car and it had a different motor in it, then yeah, I would say, okay, sure, no problem. But the thing is what a lot of people are doing is they're doing the conversion, but they're lowering the number of the four-door originals. So what that's doing is jacking up the price of the four doors. And I don't think they realize what they're doing. You know what I mean? Yeah, I have the ram horn manifolds myself. I even have the ram horn exhaust manifolds from my 350, from my 69 Impala. They're still intact. They're still here. And it's the second Chevy that I've ever worked on that I was able to get every one of the exhaust manifold bolts out without them snapping.
Tonight, honey, I promise. Right now, I want to check and see if we got our own private dealer. I'm the dealer. Name your game. Name your game. I like him. He's got an honest face. I'll see you later.
Steve, I don't know if you're subscribed or not, but why don't you go ahead and do that, okay? Because, I mean, it doesn't cost anybody anything. And I'm going to be live streaming again. This was the first time, so there was a lot of errors. You know what I'm saying? Like, I had to reset this thing over and over and over again in order to get it to actually work. But as you can tell from us talking, I'm not a dummy. I know what I'm dealing with,
Boy, robot slot machine. I'll hit this one, honey, and you try the other.
A lot of the guys were making fun of me because I'm overweight. I'm almost 300 pounds, okay? I had a heart attack 2 years ago. And, not until just recently I started feeling good enough to get out underneath the car and work on it and stuff like that. I found out a lot of things about that car is completely original. This car still has the suspension with 2 bolts that go through the frame rails, okay, with nuts on the end with washers. My car has dual exhaust. I went out and got chrome tips for the end, but I think it actually has stainless steel exhaust because the pipes are there, the mufflers are there, there's no holes. You know what I'm saying? And my car actually has, the rear wheels are wagon wheels, and those wheels are recessed a little deeper than the regular wheels that they use for 57. So my front wheels are legit 57, Bel Air wheels or whatever you want to do it, but the rear ones are deeper, so they're the wagon wheels. And Gary was telling me, I don't know if you know him, he's on Facebook. I'm not going to give out his last name because he actually did a lot of hot rodding in his younger days. He had quite a few 57s, and he ran them on the tracks, for qualifications, for prizes, and all that other stuff. To say the least, he's known very well. and he knows who I am. And he's one of the guys that actually helped me research the numbers on my 57 that pretty much told him, me, and somebody else, you know, from that time period that this is a complete legit car.
I mean, why should you care about a mink-lined private office with your name in gold, Leon? Gold, Leon? And the secretary who's been nicknamed the Heavenly Body.
Okay.
Forgive me, sir,
Well,
I don't want to keep Gigi Galaxy.
if you're clicked on me, you'll see there's a lot of videos. A lot of them doesn't show, you know, the engine. I'm not really a camera person, you know what I mean? I'm more of the mechanically inclined person. I know how to take things apart and remember how they go back together. And that's how you learn. I mean, in any engine or any repair job, that's why I've worked in a couple of garages. My last job that I worked for was a guy that knew me very well. And I was just joking with him. I asked him, I said, "You didn't fire me the day that I left, did you?" He goes, "No." He said, "You were the lead car in the parade for the veterans." He said, "You weren't fired," you know. So I worked in that garage, and I know that guy will probably take me back again because he knows I know what I'm doing. I had a 52 Plymouth as well. It was a 52 Plymouth Cranbrook Club Coupe. It was a two-door. When I got that car, Steve, I got that out of an auto salvage yard. The guy that put that car in that auto salvage yard got it from a field on a farm. It sat out there for, I want to say 9 years, but I'm thinking it's more like 7. Anyway, somebody took the oil pan off and removed the number 3 connecting rod cap and tossed it. Okay. All the other ones were put in a Chuck full of nuts coffee can in the back trunk. Okay. There were no floors left. The seats were sitting on frame rails. This is how bad the car was. Okay. I actually have pictures of that car to this day. I only got rid of it a couple of years ago, and mainly because I couldn't find parts for the carburetors anymore. I actually had that car looking like it rolled off the factory assembly line. No kidding. Redid the interior, redid the floors, redid the engine, the transmission. It was, you know, it's not an automatic, manual transmission. I had the clutch plate resurfaced. I did the body work, the paint work, the interior work, the cleaning of the gas tank, the redoing of the fuel lines. I located another connecting rod cap from a friend of mine, last name of Wagner, and I was told by him to put the connecting rod and the cap in the engine. Not my way of doing things. I took the connecting rod cap off of that connecting rod and put it on the one that was already in the engine with a new set of bearings. And everybody kept telling me, "No, you can't do that because it could be a piece of paper hair off and it just could mess everything up." I said, "Look," I said, "first of all, there's a casting number on it. The casting number matches the one that was originally on the car. Now, if it's going to be that far off, which I doubt very highly it would be." So I did. I put it back. I put, the thing on the connecting rod in the car, in the motor. It was a straight 6 or whatever the hell, a flathead 6. And sure enough, the car runs, or it ran, no problem. I redid the floorboards, in 18 gauge galvanized steel, believe it or not. And I did the body work. I found an original set of caps. I found the lower side pipes. I found the brow that goes over the windshield, the visor, and the little visor over the headlights and all that stuff. It was a pretty cool looking car. And that was way before my time, but I redid cars. I was heavily into them, I had that car. I had a 1950 Dodge Coronet. That was a 4-door. That car was painted black and you couldn't see inside the car because I had the windows tinted black, but you could see out. That car had a visor, it had fender skirts, it had curb feelers, it had headlight overlap, visors or whatever you want to call it. So that was another one. Then I had, the hell was it? 64 Volkswagen Bug. Okay. And I just, for some reason, I got big hands. I can't work on small engines. You know what I'm saying? And that was like, even though it was a 64, I couldn't get my hands in there in order to change spark plugs. So what I did ultimately was I traded the car for a 67 Dodge Charger, 318 with a 4-barrel. And that thing, right at the bottom, before the rear wheel wells, had 2 inches of Bondo on either end, both sides. And it was just below the curvature of the side panel that Dodge did, for the Chargers. And I cut it out, cut the Bondo out, and I redid the car with metal fabrication. There was still, it was considered a unibody construction, so one side was a little weak, whereas the other side was already replaced. But I had the car running, and the guy came all the way up from New York, and he bought the car off of me for like $4,500. It wasn't a perfect car. It was a running car, and it looked good. So I did that, and then I had a 69 Impala Custom, which I repainted. I also did metal fabrication on that, and I also had a 69 Olds. Now I have another 69 Olds here now. That'll be the next car I work on. That has a 455 Rocket. It has a 2-barrel carburetor, which I'm not too fond of, but whatever. And it has bucket seats and a console with the shifter on the floor.
Oh, George, you danced to
All right, man. Pierre, are you still here?
Isn't that Mr. Spacely?
Or did you go to sleep? I take a picture of that window. Yeah, there's a couple people in my in the live stream now. I don't know if you can hear me or if you want me to type it out. Let's see. We had somebody show up in my live stream, but I don't see you there.
I'll be right back. I think I'm being paid. That does it. I quit.
Oh, let's get the rest of this dance out. I'm getting tired.
You're getting tired. Mr. Spacely. Oh, there you are.
Steve, it was nice chatting with you. Have a good night.
See you in a minute, honey. I just remembered I promised to call the kids.
I know quite a few people that have actually subscribed to that are going to have a rude awakening tomorrow.
Spacely's Sprockets and General Motors, may they make beautiful dividends together.
Really, darling.
What the hell?
Sit, not go.
I don't know what's in that stuff, but it sure makes your head spin. In fact, I'm kind of starting to see things. That lady coming in, she almost looks like Jane. Jane, Uber.
I'm so glad you had a table for us. I left word for George.
Very good.
I don't know what could have happened.
Let me see.
You see, we were dancing.
Oui, madame. Gotcha. Able to talk to me. Uber, she's coming this way.
Yeah, okay. I had what was a guy named Steve in there. He's got a 56 Del Rey. So we were talking about that for a while.
Look at that clown, Mr. Spacely. I hate to be his wife.
But look who's with her. It's GG Galaxy.
All right.
Delighted to see you, Miss Galaxy.
Mr. Spacely, how nice. Of course, you know my escort, Mr. Jetson.
Jetson. Hello, boss.
Huh.
Jetson.
Honey, I can explain everything.
Well, if that's it,
It was.
I guess we'll
It was just Gigi.
end the stream, Pia. It's 55 minutes and 24 seconds in.
Where's the contract, Jetson?
What do you think? How long they usually run these things?
Mr. Jetson, all he thought of was the contract.
True. True.
He doesn't have a romantic bone in his body.
True. Very true. Hey, wait a minute.
And you'll have the
I'm just about an hour into it now. What do you think? We ought to just close out?
Vice President Jetson. Oh, thank you, sir.
Oh, it's the Samba Ramba game. Come, darling. I need a new partner.
There's nobody else in here.
George, will you ever forgive me?
Oh, sure, honey.
Okay, good. Then I'll close out.
I'm so proud.
That way you can get your rest. I don't want to keep you up any more than you need to be. We'll consider it a partial success. We've only had one person in there after all the networking that I've done. Networking means passing a message around to 500 million people and not really seeing anybody in there. Yeah, we'll do it another time. Maybe I'll do one in a couple of days, but I'll do it with it outside because now my cell phone should work with this because I've done this one, you know. I've done 2 other ones prior to this, but they were earlier ones. All right, I think we're going to say goodnight, folks. Thank you for all that have showed. We will do this again very soon. Pia, thanks for your time. I appreciate it, dear. And we'll see you all later or next time. I still will be putting out videos. I also restore these things that are behind me. So, yeah, I think that's it, folks. Everybody have a good night, and thanks for coming.